Wahahaha. Welcome to the PigPenPodcast. I'm your host, Damien.
I'm your host, Justin.
And dude, we're covering a spooky movie.
I wasn't ready for that, dude.
I told you I was gonna do something crazy, something spooky,
dude.
something special.
You are a crazy, crazy fellow.
I'm a crazy gent.
And you honestly just surprised me.
I know. I surprised the audience too. They were expecting it right off the rip, and I gave them a nice little whoa, blah blah blah.
Oh,
vampire.
Yeah. No.
But we just watched a movie.
Yeah, we did, and we're gonna review it today on the review room.
Hey, we're back in the review room, everybody.
The review room.
And it's pretty late. It's pretty late. So if we're a little rambly or a little stumbly, it's
It is late. Yeah.
But hey, isn't that the best time to be hanging out?
Oh yeah, it is.
I'm a night guy. Guy.
It depends on it really just depends on the day, man. But sometimes the night is where it's at.
I think it's always where it's at. You know, other kind of guy I am.
What kind of guy?
A horror movie guy.
Yeah, dude.
I love me some horror movies.
Me too, man.
No, you don't.
Yeah, see, I knew you were gonna say that,
No,
but
you don't.
dude,
Go ahead, prove me wrong.
I like horror movies.
What movies?
The ones that are horrific.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what?
All
You're not allowed to say
of
Scream.
the ones that I like.
You're not allowed to say Scream.
Okay, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah. Name a horror movie you like. You're not allowed to say Scream.
All right, Scream.
It's the one that I told you can't name.
Dude. Okay, I was gonna say a sequel, but then I couldn't think of one that I liked enough to say. Because I was gonna do a bit where I still said a Scream movie, but the first one is just so superior.
It is really superior.
Listen, man, I'm not gonna fall for these tricks. All right,
Everyone
I like
at
horror
home. No,
movies.
hold on. Everyone at home, you know what just happened. You see his tactics.
No, everyone at home understands when they're put in the spot and they feel like they need to say the one out of the many that is worth giving merit to when they're faced with the question. It's like if I were on the street and I was asked to name a woman, I could name a woman.
Oprah Winfrey.
Right. But the thing is I want to name the woman, not women. So
Hillary
maybe I
Clinton.
would name my mother, but then I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't want to dox my mom.
Well, it's got to be a famous person.
Okay, so then I'm going through my head. I'm not going to name her.
Hillary Duff.
Yeah. So maybe you're just really good at
Jessica
this.
Simpson.
Okay. But I would want to name the woman.
All right. You know what? I think this bit's gone on for too long.
All right.
Okay. Everybody, we just watched Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, we did.
And
boy, has it been a late night.
it is. It's Late Night with the PigPen Podcast. It's Late Night with your favorite pigs.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, we watched the movie. You know, we just finished it up. Figured we'd boot it up and give you guys a nice little review. So the way we do the review room is we're gonna give you like a quick rundown, synopsis, spoiler-free review. Tell you if we think you should watch it or not, and then we're gonna delve deep into those spoilers.
Absolutely.
Spoiler-filled territory.
And we'll give you the 3, 2, 1.
We'll give you the 3,
We'll give
2,
you the
1.
warning.
All right. So, synopsis of this movie. Usually you're the one, the synopsis guy, but I'll take it. I'll take it this time.
Go for it.
You think so?
Yeah, go for it.
So basically, the movie starts and it kind of gives you like a rundown, and it's supposed to be, from our narrator, it's supposed to be like a unaired episode of a late night talk show. And this late night talk show, for some reason, the episode was never aired, and it's got a bunch of mystique around it. And that's what the movie is. You get to watch this unaired episode of the late night talk show, and some crazy stuff happens in this unaired episode.
Yeah, and it is a horror movie, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say it centers around like the paranormal.
Well, yeah. I mean, the title of the film is Late Night with the Devil. That's not entirely incorrect.
Yeah.
So definitely some stuff there that with the occult, the paranormal.
Yeah, and if you like the found footage,
it is a found footage movie.
It is, and it is in its own way. It's not like your traditional shitty camera vibe.
Yeah, it's not like Paranormal Activity where it's like, stagnant camera sitting in a room and you watch, like people walk in and out of this room. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's found footage in its own special way that ties into the fact that it's a late night show.
Yeah, because it feels like you're watching television.
Yeah. That is one thing this movie does really well is it doesn't really feel like a movie. I mean, it kind of just feels like you're watching an episode of late night television minus the intro.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It's honestly done in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
But, you know, what do you think people should go see it?
I think that it is definitely worth seeing.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's I think for what it is, and for, in my opinion, I think it is very original, and I think even besides anything else, I think for that sake, it's worth watching.
Nice. I would also say that it is worth a watch. I think if, like you said, it is extremely original. So if you like originality in your horror movies, I would recommend it. It's also it's got a great spooky vibe. So like if you're not trying to like get into the gore and like of a Terrifier movie or the existential dread of something like, I don't know, Saw, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you're not trying to get deep and down into the I want to be scared territory of like some other paranormal movies, like The Taking of Deborah Logan, that's one that like fucked me up. Mm-hmm. So like if you're not trying to get scared, I would say this is a great like spooky. This is a great Halloween movie.
Actually, yeah.
This is like a great spooky movie.
This is a great vibe for that, especially with the way the movie is filmed, because in my opinion, a really good Halloween movie are the classics.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, like a psychological thriller or like well, not thriller, but like some type of horror movie that feels very modern. It doesn't necessarily hit that spooky vibe that Halloween does. But I feel like movies from like the 70s, 80s, 90s even, I don't know, something about the old ones.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I mentioned Terrifier, but that's part of the reason I love those movies so much is they have like that old grainy like 80s like, slasher grit to them.
Yeah, the grittiness,
and I think that makes them great for like actual like Halloween October movies.
And this movie takes place in the 70s.
Yeah, I would recommend this movie, and I would say, especially if you're trying to like get into like a good spooky vibe, but not like too scary. You know what I mean? It's a great spooky movie.
It's a good way to say it. I agree.
All right. Well, I mean, we told people if they should go see it, and they're gonna trust us.
Yeah, you know what's next, folks.
You're gonna trust us, right?
You're gonna trust both of us.
Are you trusting us?
We both agree on this one.
We do. That's.
Well, maybe not about whatever else we're gonna say, but at least so far.
That only other time that's happened was Sinners.
It's true.
So, pretty big moment for us.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Your favorite editing pig here. I just want to say, I don't know what I was talking about when we recorded this. This is not the first time we've agreed on whether to watch a movie or not. So, yeah, everything that I say right now, take with a grain of salt because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, you can say it's a big moment.
It's a big moment, but it was 2 weeks ago. We had like another.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's all jumbly wumbly. What's the
jumbly wumbly?
What's the Doctor Who quote about time being like a rug?
Timey wimey.
Timey wimey. Oi, bloke, it's Tommy and he's a bit of warmy in here.
Oh shoot, dude! I should know this.
Yeah. Do you like Doctor Who?
I mean, I don't dislike some of the show.
Guys, that's a new.
Was that convincing?
That's a new development for me. I never knew you even. I didn't even know you like cared about it or like even like knew what it was.
Okay. I haven't seen that much, but I have some people in my life that have seen all of it. So I've had some exposure to it.
I'm in the same boat. I actually don't care about it. Sorry, Whovians, but I know people who do like it, and I support their love of it. You know what I mean?
I'm really, and you know what? You're a supportive guy. I
support everyone.
And I want you to know that here on this podcast, here on this late night show together.
Should we name this episode, instead of naming it The Review Room Late Night with the Devil, should we just name it Late Night with the Pigs?
No.
No?
No.
Is that a bad idea?
Yes.
Everyone at home, I'm going to put a poll in the comments. Was it a bad idea?
After this video releases, we're going to put a poll up, and we're going to ask you,
should we change our name?
Should we change the title?
No, our name.
The entire podcast?
The entire podcast.
Oh, okay.
Change the entire podcast and then
Even
name.
worse idea.
Well,
we're going to do a poll.
We'll let the fans decide.
Democracy will decide.
14,000,001 people will decide.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But spoiler filled time.
Let's give them the countdown, brother.
All right.
All right.
3,
2,
1. Spoiler time, motherfuckers.
Get the fuck out if you've never seen it.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen this movie, I'm coming for you.
I don't curse often, but I am now.
Yeah. Frickers.
Oh.
All right. Spoilers, dude. So,
When's the last time you've had frickers?
like the food? I feel like that's going to place us geographically.
So Late Night with the Devil. What are your thoughts?
Okay. So, my thoughts on this movie.
We'll start with the bad, right?
Yeah, we always start with the bad and then go to the good.
So what do you have any bads? Do you have any negatives?
Yes. There was a couple things I didn't like. So the main girl, her name was Lily. She's not the main girl. She's not like our main character or anything. But she is like one of the guests on the talk show. And the way they did her possession, because like possession movies, they got to do a lot to win me over, man. I've seen so many possession movies. I think it's probably the most overplayed genre in horror, in my opinion. And I think that possession movies have the bad tendency to all be the same. And they just got to do a lot to win me over. And I feel like this movie, with the actual possession aspect of it, didn't do too much that I thought was standout. In fact, the way Lily was possessed was, I don't know if it was an homage, but it was quite literally screaming Exorcist at me.
Yeah, and
it literally,
her
face, the way like her voice went deeper, some of the stuff that the demon said, it was just screaming Reagan from The Exorcist. And I was like, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like, I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. But it was very, very reminiscent of The Exorcist. And I think it was a little, the fact that I'm thinking about The Exorcist while I'm watching this movie was not a plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I personally, I understand that because I feel the same way about possession movies. And honestly, like, there are certain ones that really did impress me. And I feel like with this one, I agree. It really did feel like an homage to The Exorcist.
It really did, because like,
also,
even
the levitating
yeah.
of the chair, and then obviously her makeup on her face.
It makes me wonder if
And
that's what they were going for.
I feel like that is what it was.
I mean, this movie does take place in the 70s.
Exactly.
So if that's what they're going for, they nailed it on the head, but I didn't get, like, I don't know, it felt a little more than an homage to me while I was watching it. Like, I was like, in my head while I'm watching the movie, it was like, man, this is just The Exorcist. Like, the way that possession actually works.
Yeah, no, I agree. It wasn't super original on that front, but at the same time, I liked how the reason I honestly am not gonna fault it for that is because of the plot line. The part of the plot, I can't remember his name, but the character who's like the what's the word? The skeptic. You know what I'm talking about?
Carl. I think his name was Carl.
Yeah, so like the fact that the scene that we watched of the possession felt very much like The Exorcist. And also this movie does great with practical effects. And
it was pretty damn good.
And that's what The Exorcist did. And I feel like the fact that they paid like the quote unquote homage to that is that it was almost giving merit for the skeptic to be able to say that it didn't actually happen.
That's a good way to look at it.
And then the movie flips it on its head with the climax, and you just see like this literal ethereal soul demon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That shit was gnarly.
Yeah, so I think that may be what they were going for. Like, they were going full practical effects to kind of give the audience a feel that maybe the skeptic is right. maybe this movie's going to go in a direction where like we were actually being fooled the whole time. And then at the end, it's like, no.
Yeah. Okay. I actually like that. So I will retract my negative.
Yeah.
Because I actually like that explanation, and it feels like that's very. It doesn't feel like that's a jump logically. It feels like that could be something that was intended.
Right. Yeah.
And another gripe I had with the movie, not really gripe, just kind of annoyance, was the skeptic's acting. That guy's acting was a little off. I was kind of some of his lines. I was like, oh brother.
Yeah, I understand. I don't think he did a bad job.
He wasn't bad. There was just like a few lines that he said that I was like,
he was a little he was leaning on the side of caricature.
I think he was
which also might have been
theatrical.
Which also it's like it's not even a bad thing. It was probably a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
Maybe by the actor or by the writer. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And that wasn't really a negative. That's just kind of like a side negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not docking the movie any points for that. It was just kind of like, okay, reel it in.
Yeah.
The other negative I had, I can't remember I had one more and I can't remember what it was. So
yeah.
Do you have any?
Did it have to do with the ending?
No.
That's nice.
Do you have one that has to do with the ending?
No, actually. But I was just saying that because it was, I don't know, because sometimes that could be a reason.
Yeah.
But either way, I would say my negatives, see, with movies like these that I really like the originality, I really like the direction the story was able to take us in such a short amount of time. Like, I feel like they did a really good job of that. Even though the first scene was very much like a dump.
Yeah,
but
it was very much narrator.
Yeah, but I like it. I kind of liked it. Even though as it was happening, I was like, do I like this right now? Because sometimes in movies that can be a little much. But
yeah,
the fact that it honestly felt like we were watching a documentary, because that was kind of the vibe the intro gave me at the end when I realized, oh, we're about to watch what the actual footage was from the show. So it's like the intro was the intro to a documentary kind of.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it added to the, because it wasn't super serious. Like the narrator's voice was a little corny.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they were saying, they're like, oh, the satanic panic and like the occult were saying this at the time. And it's like, it was a little like corny. And I think it adds to that spooky feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is a little bit of a caricature of what you would expect from an actual like documentary of this style. But I think that adds to it, because when I say spooky, there's horror, right? And then there's spooky. Those are not the same to me. Horror movies are like movies that are straight up scary. They're meant to scare you.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky is like Halloween vibes.
It's like horror with charm.
It's horror with charm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it could scare like a child, but for like adults or like teenagers, it's more of like let's throw Beetlejuice on.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Beetlejuice is spooky. It's not scary. You know what I mean? And the intro was giving me like spooky Halloween, like prime time. It was
the voice too, because that voice is so iconic.
It felt like I'm at home on Halloween by myself, and I turn on the TV to a random channel, and then there's this random documentary playing.
Mm.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I thought it added charm to the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
So
and it was like, I didn't know how to feel at first, but yeah, I got to that point as well. I liked that.
Yeah.
And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, this was something that I was consciously thinking throughout the movie and wondering if my opinion would change at the end. But the main character, which is Jack Delroy.
Yeah, Jack Delroy. I
felt like the way his character... But then again, I don't know. I kind of wanted to talk to you about this because his character was very much... in my opinion, I thought his character was going to be a lot more... what is the word? Okay, the word is desperate. Okay. So going into the intro, after the intro, when it talks about the Grove, and obviously him having this career and it hasn't reached the potential he hoped it would. So I kind of felt like his character would be a lot more of the driving factor of keeping the show going, keeping the show, the show must go on. I thought that was going to be kind of his personality, but he felt a lot more of like a background voice of his own show, to where there was that one character, I don't remember his name, but the other character that was kind of the manager-esque vibe.
I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, but like Jack kind of felt like he was just rolling with it, and as opposed to I kind of was expecting him to be more like the one that is just keeping this whole thing going. And I'm not necessarily faulting the movie for going the direction it went, but
I think he was.
I get
Him and his manager. They were both going for it, but I mean, I think Jack was definitely a driving force because, with what's her face and Lily, they didn't want to do the exorcism not exorcism, but the demonic reading or whatever on TV.
That is true.
And he basically forced them into it because he was like, "This would give us good ratings."
It's true.
And then when the manager was like, "Hey, they're loving this shit," he's like, "Okay, we'll get him back next time." He was very much definitely keep the show going.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted more from his character because I really loved how the movie showed us off screen and on screen, how it paralleled.
How different he was off screen versus on
Well, no,
screen.
that's what I'm gonna say. I don't feel like he was different enough.
I feel like he was because I think he was a lot more angry off screen.
Like he was definitely different. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't know. He first of all, nothing against the actor. He played this role amazing. I don't necessarily dislike his character, but I just wanted more. Especially with
I like his face. I like that guy's face a lot.
Yeah. He's in some
that
good
weird to
movies
say?
too. No, I don't think it is.
His face just pleases me.
Yeah. No, I understand that completely. There
Yeah.
are some people's faces that
You're
that
not
do the
talking
same
about
for me, man.
You're not talking about me, are you?
I'm staring into you right now.
I know, but you're not talking about me, are you?
Why? Would that be a problem?
Well, if you're telling me that my face wouldn't please you, then yeah, it would be a problem. I'd hope my face pleases you.
Well, I was talking about faces that please me.
Yeah, but I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Interesting. Should we get into what we did not like? That's what we just did.
No, that's what we just
Trick
did.
question.
Hey, dude, it's late, And
It is late.
I would
And
be
we're
remiss
tired.
if I said we hadn't had a couple adult beverages.
You would be remiss because I don't do that.
No, you don't do that, but I have. So if you excuse my pardon my French.
I only drink water
Yeah.
every single 27 minutes. I take a
Insert
gulp.
Minecraft slurping noise right here.
Okay. I tried to do it orally and it did not come out
When
well.
I listen to that back when I'm in the editing, I hope it sounds good because it's going to be really weird if it just cuts there.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah.
I think it sounded great.
Okay.
Especially mixed with my audio.
I think so.
I think I really was the cherry on top
Audiences at
there.
home, did you love it?
What I meant to say.
Okay.
You want to get into what we liked?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Because it was a lot. We're going to be talking. Usually the negatives are what go on the longest for these review rooms, but
Right.
I feel like the positives for this one are going to go on longer for me.
All right, man.
First positive, the feel of the movie. Like we said, it feels like you're watching an episode of a talk show. It doesn't feel like a movie, except the behind the scenes portions that are in black and white. But even then, they're in black and white, so there's like a clear distinction.
Yeah.
But the portions where it's like while they're filming, where they're live on air, genuinely feel like actual late night television. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's what I was talking about with the originality is I really like the way they filmed this and how they used the found footage genre. And I loved the black and white, man. I loved how it was a way to differentiate.
Yeah.
And also
And then
yeah, it
Sorry,
just
go
no,
ahead.
yeah, it just added a lot to the old vibe.
I was going to say there's one more camera switch up at the end. that threw my entire world out of it, like out of what's the word? Duality for a second. At the end when like, you know, all the shit's going crazy, the demon's showing itself, he's having all these hallucinations.
Yeah.
It goes into like a widescreen, like normal movie.
Dude, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Like literally the two black bars come down on the screen and it's widescreen. And it's literally in a normal movie format.
Wow.
It doesn't have the grain of the 70s talk show. It doesn't have like that wide lens appeal to it like the 70s talk show portions did. It's not in black and white like the rest of it is.
That just made this movie even better.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize.
I mean, I could show you like a quick example when we're done. But like,
I believe you.
It straight up, it was very, it made me like, I was like, whoa, when it happened. And it's nothing impressive. But the fact that it was so consistent for the whole movie and at the very end when all this shit's happening, it switched up. It made me feel like, wow.
Yeah, actually, and I like that because now that makes me think that that probably wasn't actually on the show.
Oh, it definitely wasn't.
Like, because in my mind, we were seeing his dream, quote unquote, or his hallucination, but it was actually being broadcasted because, you know, whatever wanted it to be broadcasted. But actually, the fact that it did that on purpose.
Mm-hmm. And then when it goes back to the 70s, like talk show lens with like the grain.
Yeah, and he's got the knife in her.
It's right when he stabs her with the knife.
Yeah.
It's literally, it cuts back to that format at that exact second. So it's like the way the screen looks is like an indication to us that none of this is real.
Yeah, that's cool. And I can't believe I didn't notice that.
But like it takes a second. Like it took like for a second I was like, whoa, wait, what? And it took me a minute to like piece together, oh, what's happening. When it snapped back, I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was cool.
That is cool. And I agree, man. That is another thing. The way it was filmed, very much like that.
Yeah, it was pretty. Like you said, it's unique. It's original.
Yeah.
It felt really interesting. It always was. It was switching up. It switched up 3 times throughout the movie. That's a good batting ratio. Like that's a good amount of switch ups throughout a movie that's this short. That I was like,
agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they're keeping me on my toes with this one.
That's another thing, man.
I didn't feel bored at all in this movie.
Yeah, and for how short it was, like they took advantage of every single minute.
Yeah, it was quick, punctual, to the point. I don't feel like there was too much fluff in there.
No, and there was a good balance of humor and tension and suspense.
It really, really, I think the actors like must have researched like some of those old talk shows from the 70s because they played into like talk show humor so well.
Yeah.
Like the talk show humor was on point.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Yep. And honestly, not even like talk shows from back then.
Even talk shows
just
now.
Talk shows now, dude.
Like I could see Jimmy Fallon.
Talk shows are just not my thing.
They're not my thing either, but I could see Jimmy Fallon. Like when the demon is like, it's been a while since I've seen you, Jack. And Jack's like, oh, I don't think we've been acquainted. It's like, okay, shut the fuck up. But I could see Jimmy Fallon saying that, dude.
Yeah. What did you think about the Grove?
That's another positive for me. I loved the idea that in his past, Jack has done some weird, shady stuff at this Grove.
Yeah.
Do you know the real world implications of the Grove?
Like a reference?
It's a reference to a real thing.
No.
The Bohemian Grove is an actual. I think it's like an actual place. Like it's definitely conspiracy theory, but I'm almost positive there's like actual documents of its existence, and it's like, you know, they say rich and famous people go there to like have like huge orgies and like perform rituals to keep their fame and stuff.
Interesting.
So the Grove that they were talking about in the movie that Jack was at is based on I mean, obviously we're talking right after seeing the movie, so I don't know any factual reports. Like I don't know if the director was directly basing it on it, but it literally read word for word Bohemian Grove to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which the Bohemian Grove is like a thing. Like you can read up on it. Like I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks is cited as going to the Grove before.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing, and I thought it was really cool tie-in to like some of the weird, because like this movie has a lot to do with like demons and the occult, and I thought it was a really cool tie-in to like some of the weird occultish behavior that some of the actual Hollywood like elite do.
And I really liked how they used it to kind of tie in the theme of him selling his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
To where they keep kind of going back to that shot of him signing his contract.
Yeah.
And how he keeps talking about how he wants to be the best, how he wants to be higher than his,
Jimmy Carson.
And by the end of the movie, he succeeds.
Yeah.
He gets.
But it's for the reason. It's not for the reasons you want it.
And
it's
also
that classic monkey paw.
Mm-hmm. And also the whole thing with his wife, where I feel like it's implying that he possibly, like his wife died for his career.
Yeah, no, I think I was getting that too. Is almost she was a sacrifice, because the way that like the demon talks to him about, oh, I remember you at the Grove, and like when you see the hallucination he has of his wife, she's like, oh, you really did it, and he's like, this is not how it was supposed to turn out, and she's like, well, you know what you have to do, and then he stabs her, but it turns out he actually stabbed Lily because it was a hallucination. But like those hallucinations have to mean something.
Yeah.
And I think it's implying that maybe not directly killed his wife, but his wife was some sort of a sacrifice.
Yeah, I agree.
In order for him to get the fame he wanted. And it almost implies that he did it again. And now he is the most famous talk show host, but because he murdered someone on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not for actual being a good talk show host.
And that obviously ties into the ending, which I really enjoyed the ending. I was satisfied.
The way, let's talk about the ending. Another positive.
Yeah.
The way they did the effects on the demon when it showed itself. Oh my God, I was in love with it.
And
it's like her head splits open. And it's like this like ethereal red and blue like glow with like a flame coming out of it.
I really like that too.
And it's like so ethereal that your brain can barely even process it. You're like, what is that? And it was because like, in like media, demons, big red scary monster with horns, right? It's like we've seen that a million times. This was such a creative and unique way to portray a demon that I've never seen before.
Yeah, I liked it.
And I was like, oh my God, this is insane.
And yeah, exactly. And same as I was saying earlier, like the I don't know, the dichotomy of what she was before.
Yeah, because it was like very much she was very Exorcist-like, where her eyes turn a different color. She has scratches all over her face. She has like wrinkles and stuff. Her hair's greasy, and she's like talking in a deep, low voice. Mm-hmm. But then when the demon actually shows itself, it doesn't talk.
And speaking of effects, I loved how many practical effects there was.
I also loved how creative they got with the practical effects.
Yeah, same.
Because during the hallucination scene with Bob, was his name Bob? The the second host?
The skeptic?
No, the second host. The bald guy with
Yeah. Bob sounds right.
I think it was Bob.
I know who you're talking about though.
But like Bob is basically the skeptic is like when he was trying to prove to Bob, or he's trying to prove to everyone that, it's all mirrors and illusions. Yeah. And then he hypnotizes Bob. The way they did the practical effects of him like ripping out his own stomach and like worms falling out, it was so creative. It's like, because like in a talk show host setting, it's like how creative can you get with gore?
Right.
And that was just something out of the blue. I was like, whoa.
I know. And honestly, it was like, I feel like everything was practical effects except for
the demon at the end.
The demon at the end, which
there was a couple
we've already mentioned.
And there was definitely a couple like ghostly figures, like the TV screen would blur for a second and you'd see like a ghostly figure in the background.
Right.
Those definitely were not practical. They were definitely computer generated, which it was so far and few in between that it did not bother me. You know what I mean?
Because I just love how much this movie committed to the old vibe.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah.
And I will say this might be more of a negative, but like I was kind of saying with like the possession, it was a little too possession-y. There was a couple moments where like the TV would glitch out and like Lily would like have like a blue aura around her or something.
Right.
And I was like, that's corny. But it's corny. It's not bad. You know what I mean? I think it plays more into this is a good spooky movie, not like it's not scary.
Yeah.
But I think it plays more into that spooky element.
Yeah.
And I think it was good.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, as far as positives, the majority of the movie really did hit for me. And like I said earlier, I think the only thing was I wish there was more from Jack's character. But that being said, I don't necessarily think this movie needed any more runtime.
I think it was perfect where it was at.
I do too. Like I think it really used the amount of time.
It popped right in and popped right back out.
Yeah, and I kind of wish there was more, just in a sense of being, in a sense of just because I liked the movie. But I don't think it needed more. So, honestly, dude, as far as positives go, I think I've said my piece. What about you? Because I feel like there's probably several more things I could say.
Yeah, there's definitely more positives I could go on and on about, but you know, I've already said I think you should see this movie, and I've given you a couple positives. Like,
absolutely,
I don't want to harp on too much and go on and yap, because, like I said, it's late. It's a late night.
Yeah,
but some of this movie just needs to be seen. You just need to experience it.
Yeah,
because like it really is so unique. I haven't seen a movie done this way in such a long time, or not. I've never seen a movie done this way, but I'm saying I haven't seen a movie so unique in quite like a long time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every once in a while you'll see a movie that is just unique, and you're just like, man, that was just something I've never really seen before. And this was a movie like that.
And it did very well with its pacing and build up for kind of what the promise was at the end. And
also, I like the ambiguity of,
likewise,
like, I mean, it's not entirely ambiguous of what happens, because Jack kills Lily and then everyone else is dead on stage. So it's like, yeah, he's definitely going to jail. But like the movie ends right there. You don't see him get arrested. You don't see anything. And so like, I like the ambiguity.
Also the ambiguity of his dream.
Yeah, of like,
or hallucination.
Did he kill his wife? Did he not kill his wife? Did he know that she was going to be the sacrifice?
Mm-hmm.
Did he believe in all of this occult stuff before and still tempted fate by inviting it into his show?
Yeah.
Like, how much with the Grove did he actually have to do with? Because like clearly he hallucinated the Grove, so he definitely had some connection to it.
Agreed.
I think it was very well done.
Same.
I really liked it. I think everyone at home, I think you should go see it.
Yeah.
It's been a while. This movie I think came out in 2023, so it's been a couple of years. But
if they're in the spoiler section and they haven't seen this, I mean, we should shame them.
Yeah, no, we are shaming them.
Yeah, we
However,
are shaming
I'm saying
them.
I haven't seen it until now, so I'm saying like people who haven't seen it, I feel for you. But if you're in the section,
yeah, you
shame.
better have seen it.
For shame.
Shame.
I'm gonna shame you till the day you die.
Well, dude.
What is
ratings? You go first. What's your rating? Hit me with it.
I feel like I'm gonna have a higher rating than you will this time, and you know that doesn't happen very often. But I think I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
The same.
Really?
That's my rating.
This is the first time we've had the same rating, I think.
Dude,
Look
I'm
at
so
us.
proud, man.
I think it was a solid 8 out of 10. Like it was.
I might just have to give you a hug.
I might just have to give you a kiss.
Yeah. Let's wait till the camera's up.
Yeah, when the cameras are gone, then we'll give each other a little occultish
Yeah.
kiss.
Because we're being filmed right now. Like,
Yes.
you can see what we look like.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, clearly, I want everyone to know what my big, stupid, ugly fucking face looks like.
Yeah. What do you
With
guys
my
think we look like?
6 chins and my pig nose.
Yeah.
I
have 6 foot long, curly blonde hair.
And I have a pube beard. My beard is made of pubic
And my
hairs.
eyes are purple.
Yeah. Well, that's actually beautiful. That's my favorite part about you.
I know, dude. My favorite part about you is your pubes. So we make a good match.
Yeah, I don't know. My 6-foot-long earlobes are not exactly the most attractive.
Sometimes we tie our earlobes. Sometimes. I'm not even gonna say
I think
it,
we're
dude.
done. I think we're done.
That's
I think
not worth saying.
I think that statement was too much.
Yeah,
I
I
think we
agree.
need to cut it because
Dude, we share an 8, and that's what counts.
we shared an 8.
and
Everyone,
now
fucking go see this movie. It was good.
we're doing our outro.
We're
You know
doing
what we
Classic
didn't
outro
do?
where we talk on it. What do we do?
Yeah, we didn't do it.
We never told the folks where they could listen to us.
I know, even though they're currently listening to us. But
Yeah,
there's another platform you could be
there is
listening to
another
us on.
platform.
Because if you're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we're on Spotify.
At
PigPenPodcast, no spaces.
PigPenPodcast, no spaces. No spaces is not part of the title. It just is in parentheses, no spaces.
Don't talk to them like they're just
You know what?
unintelligent.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Are they?
I'm the heel of this podcast.
Yeah. Sometimes.
I hate all of you.
Sometimes I'm the heel.
I really hate you. And I need you to know that
Well, folks, this is the outro, which
This is a
means
bit.
pretty soon we're going to be gone.
this is a bit. I love
and
all
you're going to
of
have to
you.
wait for us
I
to
love
come
all of you and
back.
accept all of you.
And then we will.
No matter
with
your
another video.
identity, your sex, your gender, your race,
So
your
you know what time it
ethnicity, your
is.
anything. Oink oink, everybody. I love you.
Oh.